Lawmakers are back at the French Parliament after a dramatic legislative election that reversed the straight majority of President Emmanuel Macron's party. Mr. Macron's centre-right alliance won 245 seats, falling short of the 289 seats needed to secure an absolute majority. Newly formed Left Alliance NUP took 131, while the far-right National Rally claimed 89. The outcome is a big blow to the newly re-elected leader, who's navigating a time where Europe faces profound challenges prompted by the war in Ukraine. It'll also make it harder for him to implement his re-election agenda of tax cuts, welfare reform, and raising the retirement age. For more on this story, let's go to our correspondent in Paris, Ross Cullen. Ross, we know that the French conservative group have ruled out forming a coalition with Mr. Macron's camp. So at this point, what options does the president have?
Well, good evening. He has not many options. He's going to have to look left and right in the parliament to see if he's able to work out a way of forming a majority. They could always try to be a minority government, his party as well, but some kind of confidence and supply arrangement with one party perhaps, or working on a policy by policy basis, particularly, for example, environmental policies would be particularly attractive to some of the Green, Socialist and younger members of parliament in the NUPES coalition that you mentioned, that huge alliance on the left of four parties, which is the second biggest group in parliament behind Emmanuel Macron. He is already facing these challenges, perhaps having to shelve some of his legislative agenda, calls for him to sack his prime minister. He'd only appointed her, Elizabeth Bourne, he'd only appointed her to the post about a month ago. So all sorts of disarray now in French parliamentary politics, caused by the fact that these general election results were inconclusive. There were surges on the far right, a surge on the far left as well, but Emmanuel Macron's party, as you say, falling short of a majority, and so they are going to have to look around now to see if there is any body or any party who's going to be able to support them to get some aspects of his reform agenda through.
Now, Ross, looking at the situation, what will Mr. Macron need to do now to avert a political deadlock?
Well, deadlock is certainly what there is at the moment, and Emmanuel Macron is known for wanting to try to be above the fray, be a statesman-like politician, and he's going to have to learn some home truths about his campaign. That is clear to see. He made a trip along with Mario Draghi and Olaf Scholz to Ukraine. He'd previously been in the days before that to Romania and Moldova, leaving a lot of the campaigning to some of the grassroots team and other MPs. They do feel perhaps that he could have been more present on the campaign trail, and being more present with the French people, certainly with the French politicians in the National Assembly, is probably what he's going to have to do if he's going to try to forge any alliances or any particular confidence agreements with any other parties. He has got trouble coming down the line, though, already after this disastrous set of legislative election results for him. First week of July, that's when the left-wing coalition NUPES has already said they're going to table a no-confidence vote that could bring down the government. That would require, though, all the opposition, so the left-wing, all of the National Rally MPs and all the Conservatives, to vote for that motion in order to overthrow the very young incumbent government. So there is a lot on his plate for him to get through. He's going to have to work out how to be more of a negotiator and breaking certain different deals and contracts with certain factions within the parliament, if he's hoping over the next 5 years to be able to get some of his reform programme and some of his economic ambitions through.
Thank you, Ross. That was Ross Cullen reporting live from Paris.